soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every day. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. You know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
What's up, y'all? It's Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. also on the East Coast. This is the Casual Convo Show. You know how we do every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram. We everywhere, every time. Welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the communities, personal and business relationship. We always have the Casual Convo. You know why? So you don't have to have the tough convo. So I don't have to have the tough one. So Coco ain't got to have the tough one.
Period.
I'm the host. Behind the host. Let me get it right. I don't run things here. I'm Major Salam, a.k.a. Boscoe from the Bronx, and I got the host, the one who's in charge, the baddest mother. Shut your mouth on the block. Coco's in the building, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
See, I always give you this big, fat-ass, dumb intro, and you be like, hi, y'all. Carol Burnett shit. Come on.
I'm sorry. You know, I don't know what it is. So on some real stuff, you know, I be like real life, like nervous. It'd be crazy, like
hey y'all.
Real crazy.
See, next week when I do, I'm like, hey y'all.
And then I'm gonna be like, oh my god.
Oh, you gonna go Fallon on us, huh?
Yeah. Hey Paul, how are you?
What's up, Paul? You just missed the intro, I think. What the hey y'all? All right, I open now. Now I'm passing you the ball.
Okay, so I guess we just gonna go ahead and start because we have a lot to talk about today. So before we discuss the topic, let's get into the mental health check-in for today. I'm gonna go first. I don't even know what to say. I think I'm okay. I would say I'm okay. Tired. But okay. I think with bad news comes good news. So I've been kind of, just maintaining. So
Paul, I got Carol.
What about you?
All's good, man. I go back to work tomorrow. My vacation is over. I was loving it too, but got to make
congratulations. Money. You didn't call me and tell me.
I did. Told you last week. Oh, no, I didn't. My bad. Yes. I go back tomorrow. My eyes have healed up. I can see clearly now.
No worries. I'll call and cut you out tomorrow.
Yeah. That might be good.
Do you have any thoughts for tonight?
Yeah, I do. It might be, a little different than what we usually do, and actually, it's on the sports level this time.
Okay.
Yeah, what we saw this past week and this past weekend with the All-Star game, that was an atrocity. 400 points. Nobody played back. Nobody played defense. That was a layup line and a shoot around. That was the worst freaking NBA All-Star game of all time. It's so bad that even people on the damn news networks, radio, that was the worst ever. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars. And we get a layup line, a freaking shoot around. Nobody played any basketball. It's take the ball out, run up the court, dunk it. Take the ball. I don't know who it was that took a jump shot at the foul line. I know the center was told it might have been Wemby. I don't know. I couldn't see who it was. Not only did he travel to take a jump shot, wasn't nobody on him within 10 feet. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Stephen A. Smith made a point, and I've been saying this for years. Get the guys, the street ballers from around the world, have them compete. Winner gets $100,000, loser gets $50,000. These guys are going to ball. And like Stephen A. Smith said with the slam dunk competition, have a worldwide competition. High schoolers, college players, whoever, street ball, have them have a competition. Get the best, the top 10 best or top 5, whatever. Put them out there. Have an NBA player sponsor each player. Winner gets $1 million and go down the line. Because what I've seen from people not in the NBA, these guys throw up dunks that you're like, wow, I didn't think he can do that. And I know people are going to come at me because I'm saying something about LeBron James. I respect the man. Great man. Great humanitarian, the whole lick. Mad respect for him. One of the greatest basketball players of all time. I got him number 6. If someone has him number 1, so be it. I have him number 6 because I've been watching this game for 1,000 years. Put that to the side. He says, what can we do to make it better? I agree with Stephen A. Smith again. You're the reason why it's like this. You're the only player, superstar player, who plays above the rim, who never competed in the slam dunk competition. Jordan did it. Kobe did it. Spud Webb did it. Sean Kemp did it. You do it during practice. Why won't you compete? You're the biggest name in the game, but you never did it. And now you got these players who don't even give an effort. Shouts out to Mac Daddy McClung. That white boy won it 2 years in a row. And I would give it to him just for showing up because his dunks, you could tell he put in work to win. He should have won in the first round because nobody came close to him. Adam Silver, NBA, y'all got to fix this, man. That was pure shit this weekend. Now, the 3-point contest, shout out to the New Liberty, my girl out there. She hung. Steph Curry won, but got to give her the props. I can't pronounce her name, but I know she played for my squad. Shouts out. Oh, and shouts out to Caitlin Clark. That girl's bad. That girl's bad.
All-Star ain't been the same in years for me.
Nah, I don't even watch it.
It has not been the same. Like, I haven't been excited about it in years. It's just, okay, because I feel like they bullshit.
I hadn't watched it in 8 years, man. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched it in years.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
Nah, it was garbage.
Okay, so tonight, of course, one of our favorites, open discussion, where we talk about pretty much any and everything. But I kind of wanted to dive into some things based on conversations that's been going on that we've had like over the last couple of weeks, especially in honor of Black History Month, even though I know many of us are like, but I think it's important that we need to keep it going and keep it alive.
Yeah.
Like, even
definitely.
if it's not, but I feel like, I know a lot of people will say, oh, it been lost its source or, whatever like that. But okay.
I don't think it has.
We're not gonna complain. I've heard it.
Yeah, I've heard it, but I don't think it has, but I've heard it too, yeah.
And I just feel like a lot of us we letting it dwindle. It's not like how it was. And I think we can get that back.
You know what I think? Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the problem is we wait till Black History Month to start posting stuff when Black history is American history.
Yes.
We should keep posting stuff and talk about a year. And when Black History Month comes, that's when we up the ante. We raise it to another level. Like we all joke about the first person to do this, and we all joke, but there's some people who need recognition that we don't give. We talk about the same people: Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. We said this last week. We talk about the same people. We don't talk about Angela Davis. We don't talk about the Black Panthers that made 65 programs, including what people call Uber now and the free lunch program and stuff like that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Marcus Garvey.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not too sure, but I know they were big, but that party was big on like healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
not only nutrition but healthcare. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's how Medicaid, like your state insurances and local stuff like that,
Yes.
got started. So I think it's important to
They
recognize.
started WIC. They
Yes.
started the WIC program. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
I gotta get Mike up here. I ain't done with him.
You ain't never done with Mike. I don't think Mike's ever done with us either.
Post it. No,
Yeah.
but I did want to get into one of the things I wanted to talk about that we don't really talk about. Mike, I'm gonna post a link just in case.
I got to turn the light on. I'm listening.
Is community. So I wanted to do something a little different. I want your thoughts on like what community is, but I also went and I wanted to get the definition so I'll kind of be a little bit more blunt about where I want to go. So it says a social group of any size whose members reside in a specific my calling face out locality, shared government, or often a common cultural or historical heritage. So, in your opinion, specifically for ours, what does that symbolize community, or what does community mean to you?
I see community as family, just people who are together. I mean, just people who are tight knit, like that. I mean, that's about as basic as I can say it. A tight knit group. That's a community. Remember how when we was coming up, they said a village raised the children.
Mm-hmm.
That was a community. There's people we were all together as one, and we was all together for one common goal. That's a community. That's just my opinion, though.
No. I think it's spot on. But when I look at that definition, then I think back. I like to revert back to what I can remember of symbolic to certain things, and just like you said, like the village, the togetherness, because I think it's also important before I go into that is you say it a lot of times when you be like the younger people don't listen or they call you uncle, but like, oh, you're not with the times, you're not this, you're not that. So I think it's also important for us to remember, because like I look at you as a ball of knowledge, wisdom, and experience. So that's not to be negated. So I think yes, a lot of things have changed and things do evolve. I get that piece, but the wisdom and the experience, I think we got away from actually having that conversation with people older than us. And that's something that I remember coming up was you used to look up to the elders in your community because they were like staples. Like not even just your grandmothers. It could have been somebody else's grandmother, something that you admired about that person and they would teach you. Even if it was something small, but you listened. You didn't say, I ain't trying to hear that. It was like you took that in because it was something valuable. And I think it's something that we don't really understand. I think we don't have a lot of. We do, but we don't. I'm not going to say it goes for everybody, so don't tear my head off. But a lot of us haven't lived where the experiences matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And also I think I always still feel like even when I came up, we had people who said, I don't want to listen to this old guy. We had people like that. I'm not gonna make it sound like during our era we listened to everyone. However, these same ones who didn't listen to the elders or disrespected the elders, they got checked by the ones who did. That's something today that doesn't happen. Like if I'm walking down the street and I'm talking to a young guy and I'm like, yo, man, you do this, and some young guy said, forget you, old man, and try to get loud, I wouldn't have to put my hands on him. Because back then, the young ones that was running were like, hold up, who you disrespecting? To where now, and I'm not going to blame it on this generation, but I think now in our community, the Black community, I think we've been brainwashed. And I always say money, because if you look at when we talk about success and being critical of people, you're a hater because you're being critical of people. So that means whoever's trying to groom you or school you, because you disagree with them, they call you a hater. They don't want to hear you. And then they got their whole, like the situation I went through yesterday, You got one guy who's chirping. I'm not gonna give him no publicity.
You want
Who was
to
chirping?
talk about the situation because I think it's kind of symbolic of what we're talking about. I mean, you don't have to like if you don't want to.
It's just a situation where I said who I was, and one person took it and ran somewhere, but they didn't tell the whole conversation, and he had his little goonies agreeing with him, and they didn't know what caused everything.
Right.
It was a situation where a grown-up was talking to another grown-up, and someone younger got involved and didn't know and didn't understand the conversation because they wanted validation. As I said, because this generation, you have to validate them. You can't be critical. You can't have your own opinion. There's no critical thinking. There's no what do you call it? No one. People are not free thinkers anymore. And you have the people who, and no disrespect to the person I'm talking about. I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to embarrass you. But if you're watching, they want this publicity. They want these likes. They want these follows. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. But in that whole thing, you could have spoke like a man. And people don't want to speak like a man. They either call you a hater or something, or they want to shoot. They don't want to hear truth. Right. When I came up, if you disrespected the elders, you got your ass whooped by the neighborhood. They beat your ass. If you put your hands on someone older and people heard about it, they beat your ass to where now it's a joke.
Right.
So you can't talk to some kids. Not all. Because there's a group of people out here, younger people, who want to hear, like, what did you go through so I don't make that mistake? But money is the one thing that kills our community. No matter what's going on. If somebody like, let's say Jay-Z, now I'm not using I'm using them as an example. Just an example, y'all. Let's just say he do something out the way that offends everyone. What's the first thing our people say? Oh, but he making money. Even in the conversation yesterday, when everyone's going in, one person I know, and again, I'm not going to say your name, was like, you wouldn't get no money. Yes, I was. I made enough money just DJing to buy me a car. Right out the lot. Right out the lot. And it wasn't no old car. Right out the lot. But see, I didn't brag about them saying I'm making money. Because you know why? That's my business. But that's the first thing that came up. You wouldn't get no money. You don't know what I was getting. Because see, you didn't converse with me. You was my rival. You had your little crew where you felt you was the shit. So you felt like blah, 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 blah. I was getting money. It's just I was investing my money into my kids. Mm-hmm. That's why I was taking care of business while y'all were out there smoking and drinking and wilding out and getting locked up. That's the difference. So that's addressing that group. Enough love to y'all. I wish y'all all the best. I really do, sincerely. But
you think more so this was something that came up in a discussion that I had in school when we were on like pretty much like social constructs and things like that. Pretty much a lot of people, even when you go to Mike, the link is right there, pinned it, click it. I think a lot of people go for instant gratification.
Exactly.
So when we look at like when you mention like likes and things like that, I think social media, and I'm probably jumping the gun. I don't have the thing in front of me. So I think when it comes to like social media and certain things that money also plays a part in it. But even like if you know you can get some money like this, I want to get it quick. So no matter what you got to do to get it, you're going to do that because you want the instant gratification. Whereas though, even if it's putting your integrity, your dignity, anything at risk. So I think that's another thing that also comes into when we talk about our communities, like things that happen. And I agree with Mike. Some things in the 80s ruined it.
I said the 90s.
I did. I put it in the I'm sorry, Mike. If you go to look at the top of the comments, I posted. That's the link for today.
I think it's more. I think with the 80s, I wouldn't put that on us as black people. That's the crack era, the 80s. So I'm not going to say. I would say the 80s on that level, but I think we were still doing good in the 80s. Not great, but I think we were still doing good and into the 90s. because
I
in the '90s,
think we had more ownership within our
yeah,
own communities in the 80s. So I
yeah,
wouldn't say the 80s was completely bad. I want to say going into the 90s,
yeah,
and when we started seeing more, no offense to anybody who may be watching, when we
mm-hmm,
saw more Asians and Arabs and everything coming into the community,
mm-hmm,
taking over the businesses, and most of
mm-hmm,
us were starting to sell the businesses,
mm-hmm,
for for different reasons.
mm-hmm,
But it was always, I know here in
mm-hmm,
Baltimore, you had that, you knew the person who owned the store was a family who knew your family, and
mm-hmm,
and then on the other corner, it was another family who may have had another store, but it was still all within the community. They still looked out for the kids, they looked out for each other. I mean, I do remember the times
mm-hmm,
where like my aunts and my uncles and my grandmother would send me to the store. Even I
mm-hmm.
never forget my uncle. He'd be like, "Go get me some cigarettes out the little
Yeah,
machine." It was like
yeah,
90 cents, something like that. You put the money in
yeah.
there, you pull a little
They pull
lever,
a little thing
and
back
then
and drop
yeah,
at the
then it
bottom.
came
Yeah,
and it was kind of like they knew the level
mm,
of trust that was in the
yeah,
community, because they knew who you were getting it for, and
yeah.
it wasn't for you. And it's like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm,
tell da 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 da, I said hello
mm-hmm.
or whatever
Right,
it may be. And I
because they
think,
knew what was up. Yeah.
yeah, but we don't have that because everybody does. The person across the street you can't stand, but it was always that, like you said, that it was. I don't even want to say a village as far as like raising, but it was just a village of
Mm-hmm.
unity, and
Paul could
regardless of
speak.
what you
Go ahead.
looked out for each other. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, Paul could speak more on this than I can. But there was a street up here. It's called Eagle Street. When I first came down here visiting, it was called the Block. It was it's right behind the police station. That's the funny thing about it. But you could buy weed, you could buy anything. It was like one stop shop for everything you wanted. They had the food, little restaurants, little moms and pops. So, yo, let me get a fish sandwich. Everything was on that one little street. But now, if you go there, if gentrification was something, that street is. From what I heard, and say Paul can really talk more into it, a black person sold us out on that street. He has to, when he comes, I don't know if he's watching right now, but maybe when he come back in, I'll remind him. And that's part of the problem. So welcome to Mike Taylor to the show. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Let me finish up. We call him the governor.
Welcome,
But
Mike, to the
what's
show.
up, Mike? What's up, Mike?
Hey,
Mike, can I call it quits for the night? I don't want to beef with you today.
oh no, I'm not beefing today.
All
All
right.
right.
So
I'm having a beautiful day.
Okay.
So now it was a past. Okay, yeah. See, Paul knows more about that than me. Maybe you can elaborate, Paul.
I'm
But when I go back to New York, my neighborhood still black. Back then, it was more Italians. Now, when I go back, we got you know how the stores in New York are. There's a store like 1,000 stores on one block.
That's the bodegas, right?
That's the bodega, yeah. It's either
I like the
blacks,
bodegas. They got
it's either
everything.
blacks, Jamaicans, or Puerto Ricans. The whole neighborhood. I'm talking from one end to the other. So things actually went the other way around, where the black businesses. I can't say they're all black businesses because they're like Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, stuff like that. But when I look at them, black people are running them. Now they do have a few black businesses there though. So I say where I grew up in the Bronx is basically, it's straight. To where when I was growing up there, it wasn't like that. You might have had one or two, if that. But here, yeah, Paul needs to talk. Paul knows this place more. I know here, but Paul knows this place way more than me.
I can put my foot in the water.
Man, you better jump in the
You don't put no foot.
You better jump in the pool, man.
You put both of them in there. Full throttle
You're supposed to be wading in the water. What you mean?
Man, I was put my foot in the water on this one. So
nah, jump in the pool, man.
So what happened to our communities? Something that I discussed in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with the 70s, we were together. The 80s, the crack epidemic happened, and our leaders was getting high. Our community kind of crumbled. The unions, there was a large unemployment population, especially in Baltimore when they shut down Bethlehem Steel. Because I know Baltimore, so times got hard here. So everybody had to do what they had to do. My father was in the military and still was selling drugs. So, and then we lost respect for our elders because they were the ones getting high. You know what I'm saying? They was chasing it. They look bad. They stink. It was a whole bunch of stuff that we seen that
Mhm.
you can't come talk to me if I'm selling you the product.
Stain.
You know what I'm saying? So you lose that. Not only that, Huey Newton died of a heroin overdose. They said a deal gone bad, and they attributed that to the BGF out in California.
Mm.
So when we start looking at our elders, we didn't have any. We actually called the lost generation from the 80s to the 90s because
Yeah.
it was just us.
Yeah.
Um, Political teachers wasn't taught unless you had a grandmother, but shit, 9 to 10, some of my homies' mothers was getting high. And then I found when I came outside at 13, I found the grading of women who got high was weird. Like cats was fucking crackheads and all type of weird shit. Like
Mhm.
this me being exposed at like 12, 13, 14, 15. So the respect for women went totally down. I can remember when crack first hit.
Yeah.
I was living in Old York and Cater over east, and at first it was like hood beefs. Like Old York was doing drive-bys on everybody, like against Greenmount,
Mhm.
McCabe, Dutch Village. Like I lost a lot of homies. Well, the first person I ever seen die, I won't say his name, but I just moved around there, and he hugged me and gave me $1. And then I'm from the projects. I don't know what a drive-by is. You feel me?
Mhm.
So I'm in the park, and the Lord do like run. I'm like, what am I running for? I'm lost. Like running. What am I running for?
Mhm.
The car get the skirt, and I'm just standing there and watching the dude get shot up on a payphone.
Mhm.
So that was at the age of 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? And crack got so bad because I remember Old York formed. Old York and Cater formed in like 19, I think 92, but they got organized,
Mhm.
right? It got so bad. The first time I ever met a celebrity was Charles Dutton, the guy that played rock. He came out there to
Yeah.
talk to us. You know what I'm saying? About the epidemic of crack.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody was hearing that. Them boys making money. I mean,
Mhm.
Z300s all through the hood, man. Like, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? The Acura was the first time I ever seen the Acura Legend. You know what I'm saying? By,
Mhm.
by a big homie of mine. You feel me?
Mhm.
And as kids, we the first time we ever seen $100 bill. Like, rest in peace to KC. My boy Allen, brother. First time ever
Mhm.
gave me $100 bill. And I seen when I knew it was bad when they had like this old guy and he was
Mhm.
dancing for a pill. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I was a kid looking funny. He out
Yeah.
there dancing and
Yeah.
they like man, show me. Yeah, show me how you be in the ass. I'm a kid. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And he grinding in the air and
Yeah.
all this other shit. And
Drugs,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? They got him dancing and shit. They got another old dude doing push-ups. So in Baltimore, you seen it like, okay, well, we don't have no elder. These cats is crackheads.
Mhm.
And you learn to look at a person that get high as a nobody. You feel me?
Yeah.
They're not people. So when I really started getting out in the game, you know what I'm saying? Like and whatever I was doing, what I was doing, you feel me?
Mhm.
I never valued people until I got older. You know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, you kick them in their ass and send them on their way. You know what I'm saying? A person on heroin, she gonna do whatever they want, and they taking that bandominium, bro, and they doing whatever they
Mhm.
want with her. And I'm
Mhm.
lost. So I give you an example, something that like messed me up to this day.
Mhm.
Um, I was working for a homie of mine. You know what I'm saying? I never was able to sell drugs where I live at because my mother is like, the hood mom. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Can't scared of my mother. She the only one in the military uniform. Everybody shook to death. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I was an enforcer at 13, 14 because shit. You know what I'm saying? You owe my man some money. We beat you up. They only gonna send us to
Mhm.
jury. You know what I'm saying? We be out the next day. So and I remember I was upstairs playing Mario World, Super
Mhm.
Nintendo. And the guy came up, one of the cats I did not like at all. You feel me? Like me and Yo did not get along. Like I didn't like his character at all. But
Mhm.
he had came up and put a girl up there around my age. You feel me? I'm like, what is this? So he like, yeah, little Mike, this for you for the night. Like, what are you talking about? So the girl I went to middle school with, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
went to middle school with her, and she was like, my mother do this all the time. I'm like, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Um, she like, my mother sell me all the time. I'm like, what? What's that? What's that? What you mean? So I was short tempered, high here kid. I go downstairs, I make a phone call. Like, hey yo, I call him D. Yo, D, you need to get to the house, man. I don't know what the fuck these niggas doing, yo. But I'm telling him what happened. So he come in the house. He like, yo, little Mike, yo, come here, yo. I'm like, what's up? So they like, yo, you serious? I'm like, she right here. You know what I'm saying? And he smacked the dude up. I couldn't wait for him to get beat up. I was waiting my whole life to get him put hands on yo. Like I'm sitting up there like, yes. And he like, man, look, man, we get money. You know what I'm saying? We exchange drugs for money. We don't exchange drugs for sex. Right? To put him out the house. Now the girl, she with me all night. Because her mother ain't come back yet. So her mother come back and say, I'm sitting on the steps. You know what I'm saying? Her mother come back like, did y'all have a good time? So my man, he go in there like, listen, don't you ever do that shit again. We don't play that shit around here. And if I hear about you doing that shit up here, we gonna kill you.
Yeah.
That's the first time. That's the
Not to cut
first
you
time.
off, unfortunately, that's been happening. Like I know of, I'm not gonna say how. I know.
Right.
I know of I'm gonna say we talking about our communities and the black communities. That's been going on just for food. They were selling their kids. I know men and women who were sold as children that's probably in their 70s now, 80s now, who are traumatized. And that's why a lot of times when we talk about like our homeless population, you'd be surprised the stories of things will cause people because they had to escape because they were being sold at like 5, 6, just so their family could eat. So they were being sold. So unfortunately, that's like a traumatic thing that happens. That's been happening for decades.
Oh
In
yeah,
our community.
it's in the
But it's
shock.
like that
Yeah, it's in the
you don't
shock.
say nothing.
Yeah,
We have that thing in our community where what happens in this house stays in this house and all of that stuff.
correct.
And yeah, we got a lot of messed up kids.
So it
But
was it was weird. So I seen instant. You know how you like that
and
instant.
welcome, Paul. I'm sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
show.
Uncle
After
Paul.
Mike, you can go.
Yeah. So it's just seeing it as a youngin, right? And then seeing the big homies corrected. I was like, bet that's how I go. You know what I'm saying? I seen the pregnant women, they wouldn't sell the pregnant women. But I had some stand up dudes, you know what I'm saying, sitting in the feds right now. Like, it's things that they wouldn't it's things that they wouldn't do that I would go around other hoods, man. They sell it to the pregnant girl, they smashing the pregnant girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like the elders failed in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? The elders failed us. You know what I'm saying? They stopped being political activists. You know what I'm saying? They stopped coming in the communities. They were literally junkies. You feel me? And after their experience, you can't talk to a cat that's like, yo, I've been through all this shit. Now you want to come back? Like, bro, we don't even see you as a human anymore. And I think that's where the discourse was at. Like, after they shut our Rex down in like 1992 through 1996, we all was outside. So depending on who you was running with and who you was gunning with, you know what I'm saying? I started my own crew. I ain't never run with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I always was a leader, so I formed my crew.
Yeah.
And you know, just to come up with some rules that we had and all type of stuff. So it was just to go like different places. Like South Baltimore was way different, bro. Like first time I ever seen white people get high. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about dumb high. Like they out there leaning the whole nine, and we treat them the same way we treat the now like Baltimore City. We talking about our community. The whole city's our community. It isn't like it's not segregated here. You feel me? Like if you grew up in Pigtown, yeah, you're a dirty white boy, bro. Like you was out there with us. You know what I'm saying? You was in Sandtown, you was out there with us. You was over East 4x4, Old York, Greenmount, Dutch Village, Marble Hall. It was all the rhetoric was all the same. You feel me? We out here getting this money. These aren't people. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that they people until you get locked up.
Yeah.
And then they get clean, and you see them over the jail. They doing 300-400 push-ups. Like, God, ain't that such and such? You know what I'm saying? They don't look like that no more. You know. And then in jail is when we start seeing them as people, because then they sober, and they're having cognitive conversations. But
Mhm.
on the streets, like, my man Uncle couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? He was paying for it. You know what I'm saying? You paying
Mhm.
for the coochie, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you out here snorting coke off the girl butt cheeks. Like, I'm a kid. I seen all this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, bro, like, you can't talk to me, man. Mike, you need to sit down, boy. You need to stop doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You gonna die young, bro. Look, man,
So
you you
let
you
me
living high.
let me ask you this. So I think going back, because a lot of times, what prompted me to put the question up was because I think certain things, and we kind of touched on it last week, which is going to come back around when we
Mhm.
talk about community. A lot of people don't have an understanding of what that actually means, not the destruction, but actually like what it means. So when we talk about certain things of meaning,
Mhm.
I think a lot of time it's misconstrued because it's overshadowed by negativity. But I
Mhm.
think like that's why I wanted to bring the definition piece into it, because when you get a better definition, you have a better understanding. So sometimes if you know better, you do better. I do believe that. So do
Mhm.
you think today
Mhm.
that, and not just in like, because I know you traveled and seen different things, and I know Boscoe, from where you from, you've traveled. Do you think that there's a sense of community, period, in our communities, not just in Baltimore?
Oh, now it is, yeah. So, like North Carolina, like Fayetteville got together. You know what I'm saying? And Charlotte got together to address their gang problem, like heavy. You know what I'm saying? And then Baltimore came around. I think after the Freddie Gray and Trayvon Martin thing, you know what I'm saying? We kind of galvanized around each other. Um, yeah, but it's a all right. So I'm gonna tell you what my uncle told me. He said, "Listen, the community is a place where you feel safe, and,
Mhm.
and you keep fighting.
Mhm.
So the community is a building, um, and it's a good thing because there's really no more drugs in our community. You know what I'm saying? We're more or less focusing on how can we come back to like the early '80s where what I mean, the lady sitting on the steps. You know what I'm saying? We don't disrespect. Even in the 2000s, like we were selling drugs in the woman block. We cleaned up the block. You know what I'm saying? We shoveled their snow. So it was always community if you wasn't in the game. You feel me?
Mhm.
But I think like news media focus on us outside selling drugs and all that. But I remember my mother telling me flat out like, if it's snow, my sons, Miss Gladys and them too old. Y'all gotta shovel the whole block. And
Mhm.
we shoveled the whole block because that's
Mhm.
what our mothers instilled in it. So the community has always been there. It's just that money was always the root of the problems. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
money drive us. Like people
Mhm.
don't understand. Like black people is a money driven people.
Yep.
So when you can't get a job at the port, you know what I'm saying? You can't get a job at a shipyard. You can't get a job at these warehouses. Our community, unfortunately, always have a black market
Mhm.
since the 50s. We always had a black market: gambling, pool hauling, uh, moonshine, girls, prostitution, and we always had a underbelly numbers before they took it and made it the lottery. And I think right now, like Bosco can agree with me, is
Mhm.
that we're trying to break up our underground, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And then white people figured it out, so they took our underground and made it into music.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
so they brought our underground out, so we don't have an underground. So they like you can do anything else because if I give a kid 100, 200 million,
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 million to rap about all type of stuff, that we lose our underground power, right?
Mhm.
And then the judge say, "Well, we get to hold you accountable for these lyrics, even if you've never done it, and they just rapping about what the underground is." So
Yep.
we lost that. We lost that ability to say, "Well, I can't work today,
Mhm.
but let me go make some money tomorrow. That's gone.
Mhm. Yep.
It's
That's
no more.
actually going on now too. On the I'm sorry, I was trying to help Paul, but just I just caught the back end when you were talking about like the what's being used today. So I don't know if y'all keeping up with the Rico trial. So they're using
Mhm.
not only cell phone footage, they're using DMs, they're using
Mhm.
tweets, anything from social media. They went all the way back to like 2009.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's kind of so everybody like, oh, freedom of speech, this was in the third. So it's kind of like even if it because I think in some instances I'm like, that's not what that meant. And I think that's the whole cultural piece when we talk about because every place have their own culture. So
Mhm.
certain lingo means certain things. So they were completely like twisting it to mean something else. And you could see people like who were watching on like the comment section that was like, that's not what that means. Like even I'm like, that ain't it, sis. Like, you doing something different. So I think it's important for us to be mindful as well. And one thing that we don't do in our communities is we enable people to make bad choices. Let's just say
Yeah,
that
we
within
do.
our community, we are a bunch of enablers. Like we will
Mhm. We
enable
do.
bad choice instead of saying, "Oh, I don't think this is in the third." And where we think we being slick, it's like, nah, bro, that's not.
You know why, Coco?
Coming back
And
out.
like I said, the problem with that is, I mean, what you're saying is right. The thing, what's up, Chris Dixon? Long time no see, bro. That's why I say the thing that kills us in our hood is the word hater,
Mhm.
because you don't have your own opinion. If you disagree, if you try, oh, you just hating. We always love to say you're hating, hating, hating. No, I'm trying to school you. I'm trying to educate you. And like Mike said, the money. And I said this about the music so many times, and Mike nails it about the music and the money. I mean, I can't say any better than that, because it's like it's like I got into it with a guy. He's just a little bit younger than me. He blocked me because I called his ass out. This is what he said a couple of years ago. Let these young dudes have their time. Turns around when a young dude shot his nephew. And before he unfriended me, I said, didn't I tell you? Now with the rap lyrics, we do have free speech, but with free speech comes accountability.
Mhm.
If I'm doing a crime, I'm not going to be dumb enough to describe the entire crime on a song, especially give information that only the police know. If you do that and you get caught, that's your ass. Because you snitching on yourself. If I go out here and rob a bank, I'm not going to be like, I robbed the bank, I shot the teller, I shot the guard, and I left $2 on the ground. Because
And
I
call
left
it
a
drill
$2
music,
bill.
self snitching.
Yeah, because basically, yeah, because you snitching on yourself. So if they go back and grab your tweets and they say, oh, this nigga just said something that we didn't release to the press. Nobody knows. That's your ass.
But then
I mean,
I
yeah.
look at like when
Mhm.
drill music started, I was a big follower.
I
So
never
when
liked drill.
drill music started, it was a different culture, right? So
Yeah.
I can name all of them. You know what I'm saying? I was knee deep in Chicago trying to figure out what this music was about.
Mm-hmm.
And what they don't tell you is they had people actually rapping against drill music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You had artists that was
True.
in Chicago rapping against drill music, right?
True that. True that.
But same as 50 Cent said, like it was new, it was fresh. You know what I'm saying? And it was the most destructive music that you knew because they were actually bodying people. Like if you diss me,
Yeah.
you was dead the next day,
He's
man.
dead the
Like
next day. And that ain't
that's how
even rap,
DJ,
man.
yeah, that's how
Yeah.
DJ Academic got his start. He was the one that was
Mm-hmm.
reporting on it, right?
Yep.
And so I followed them trying to see like what was the thrill about the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now don't get it messed up. If you don't know nothing about the nations, you don't know about the 5 or the 6
Mm-hmm.
nations, you're gonna learn. You don't know about Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, David Barksdale, you're gonna learn through this music
True that.
what organizations was there from the Kings all the way
Mm-hmm.
to the BDs, the Gangster Disciples, Four Corner Hustlers, like the Black Peace Stone Rangers, El Rukins.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna learn through this music.
True that.
And I think that Chicago, by listening to me, felt left out because
Mm-hmm.
LA had the Crips and the Blood music. You feel me?
Yeah.
And they came later after the nations. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
After the five, After the 5 and 6 nations, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, okay, well, why y'all talking about it now? Like Larry Hoover been locked up. You know
For a
what I'm saying?
minute.
For a long time. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody know about no GDs, man. You couldn't even ask a person. If you ain't, I went to Kansas. I went to Kansas and found out what a GD was. You feel me? Yeah, ain't no GDs in Baltimore, man. I don't know I don't know none of them. You know what I'm saying? And then when we went to Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Because we wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay, let me ask you this before we run out. I want to bring something back from the last. I think it was last week. We talked about culture, and I listen. Hold on, don't let. We're not gonna. It's not gonna go there. So again, I heard everything that you said. I didn't disagree with what you said, but I think we were kind of saying the same thing, but I was speaking on a different area of culture. Let's say that. So what I did was I went and got the definition. And then I want to ask you the question again. Is that okay?
okay.
All right. Because this is more about where I was going with it. So, shoot. The meaning of culture, all the ways of life, including arts, beliefs, and institutions of a population that are passed down from generation to generation. So when I said I don't think we have culture, I don't think we do, because I mean you mentioned it quite a few times, and we do have the culture dynamic of environmental behaviors, right? Which is mainly what we were speaking on. I'm not speaking on environmental behavior. I'm talking about as far as like the structure of the unity, the family and friend unit, right? Whereas though when I don't know if you heard at the beginning when we talked about um things that are passed down. And I know I've said it quite a few times when I said I was blessed to be raised by like my great grandmother, you know what I mean, to see them, because when they taught me a lot about our family culture, like things from beyond, like their parents, grandparents, what it was like when they were younger, their experiences. They gave me certain levels of wisdom that I couldn't get from anywhere else. And I'm able to pass that on to my children so that my children can pass that on to their children. It's just different things. And I don't feel like we really don't have that. And like you said, you have a lot of like at certain times, like late, I'm gonna say mid to late 80s going into the 90s, you did have a lot of parents who were strung out, addicted. So what lessons are really being taught? You know what I mean? Like what is really being passed down? So when we see today, we got like a lot of lost kids. I'm not saying every child or every family, but we do have a lot of lost children that are feeding into a negative environmental culture.
Okay.
But as far as the other dynamic, I don't see that.
Okay.
That's just my
All right,
opinion.
let me answer this question. So everything's passed down. I blame it on the parents, especially the new age parent, right? I have a family reunion every year. 2 family reunions I go to. So the culture is still there. The culture is decided whether you want to go or not. The only time black people actually go and see their family is during funeral time. You know what I'm saying? That falls on the household. But as a culture, like our artists pass it down. You gotta know where to go at. The Walters Art Gallery for free. You can take your butt there right now to see a black artist's work, right? Right now they made the African American Museum now, so our culture is closer to us more than anything. Right in D.C., Blacks and Wax Museum, that's a culture. Like you can actually go places to see our culture. Now, when you talking about family culture and dynamic, I blame that on the family structure. Okay, so once usually when grandma die, the family go to shit. Okay, and that's how black structures have been since the 80s. Like as soon as Big Mama die,
It's a wrap.
don't nobody know nobody, right? So who that falls back on? That falls back on the aunts, the uncles. Like I got great aunts and uncles, and they hold on to the principles of what my great grandmother taught. Now I met her; she was 103 when I met her. So there's always some part of the family that's always trying to bring the family together, right? In black culture, we so petty. You know what I'm saying? I'll mess with that cousin. I'm not going there. You know, you
Mhm.
got cousins in Baltimore. They don't know each other until one of their cousins get died, and they've realized that they ops. Like what? Like y'all
Oh,
was
I hate
beefing
that
the
word.
whole summer. You don't know that you beef with your cousin. You was hoping this one guy died, and then find out he's your cousin on your father's side. You know what I'm saying? When y'all was little, y'all slept in the same bed together. I blame that on the family unit. But a
Mhm.
culture is like an African American black culture. You can find your culture, our culture everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We can walk it down, shorty. I take you to every museum that we got. I got a map of every black museum because as soon as my son get 18, we mob it. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The smaller ones, the big ones, the ones that's not seen. We have a culture. Our culture is paved in gold because they make money off our culture. So our culture is a big ass museum in DC, 3 levels, right?
Mhm.
Go there, you'll see our culture flourish. Now, when you talk about a family dynamic where grandma done passed down, that what great grandma did, usually it's
Mhm.
passed down through the food. If you was around your
Mhm.
grandmother, she done taught your ass how to cook, and then you done taught your daughter how to cook. So our
Mhm.
culture still get passed down. It's when you think of the men is
Mhm.
where the culture breaks.
Mhm.
And I got homeboys that don't know their fathers, but look at my father as their father. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Let me add into that too, Mike. Like with our family, like my mother was like basically the oldest, and with us, we knew she was getting sick. I mean, it was like a 8 year time before she finally passed. But during that time, we all talked, and me and my brother and my sister, we always talked about how it was, and with moms and all that. To where now, like me and my brother and my sister, we're the oldest, and we're the grandparents. I got the most grandkids, but we talk to our younger generation in our family, and we talk to the
Mhm.
ones low, down at the grandchildren, great nieces, everything. So we actually kept that family dynamic because how we came up, we grew up poor, and we were all we had, and we kept that family dynamic. We had our problems. But yeah, I'm with you everything you said. I'm just saying with us, we kept that family dynamic, and even now we still talk like my nieces and nephews, yo, pop, yo, granddad, blah blah blah. Yo, this what happened. Da, 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 da. So we got that dynamic. So we know when one of us low, when we all gone, we know who's that next one who's gonna say, you're, you are the one, da da da. So like with my kids, they all know what's up. With my
right,
sister, yeah. And the one word I hate, you mentioned it, not, and it's not against you. Um, another word that kills us inside our neighborhood is the word ops.
Mhm.
Ops. I'm like, when you use the word ops, you saying that's your bitter enemy. And I hear it around here. Those are not your ops. Y'all don't get along because he beat you in some basketball, so now he's your ops. No, cut it out. He beat your ass in basketball, and now you're mad. So now he's your ops, right? And see, these are words and phrases, hater, ops, uh, he's making money. These are words right here. I'll call them empty calories. We use them just to use them. Just to make, I don't know, just to make maybe us feel better or whatever. We use these words and they don't have a meaning. Just because I express my opinion and I disagree with you doesn't make me a hater.
Yeah.
I have an opinion. Like you may not like what I like, but you're not a hater. That's just not your cup of tea. We don't get along, but you're not my ops. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to be bothered with you. But I'm
right.
not. I'm at that. Not at that level where I say I'm gonna kill him when I shoot him. That's why I say I hate when I hear these kids say those are the ops. No, it's not. You know who the ops are? These ones, these dirty cops like the cop y'all had in Baltimore who had his little shit
Which
going on.
one?
No. Wayne
Wayne and
Wayne
them,
Wayne Wayne Jenkins, yeah, that nigga,
Wayne and them,
yeah, his little crew, yeah.
yeah.
That's your ops. That's your ops. The ops are the ones who's trying to sell drugs to your sister, but still trying to smash her, and she ain't but 14 or 15. That's your ops. Them are the niggas you need to be getting rid of.
Mhm.
Those are your ops. But see, we don't see it that way. Cause like I said, we see the money. It's like they're making money. So free my nigga so and so. No, let that nigga stay in there. He need to learn a lesson. Let him stay in there a little bit. We had a guy this last month check this out. He just finished doing 4 years. 4 years over drugs. Next, soon as he got out, he wasn't out but a week and died. A week out of prison. Hit that fentanyl. Like, dude, things have changed since you've been in there. Nigga died a week later.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying. So like,
yeah, I'm with you. Everything.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
So like that's why I tell Coco when she be talking about culture. We got culture. What happens is the family breakage.
Hold on. I respectfully. No. Hold on. Just real quick, because I was quiet. But I respectfully do disagree to a degree. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that you're all wrong. I do agree with some of the things that you're saying, but from the dynamic of culture that I'm referring to, I don't think that we, like I said, that we have that, because when you see other races that have certain things within their culture, it's not shareable. It's not infiltrated. We can't go into other races and do certain things that's cultural for them. And like I said last week, we embrace everybody into ours, where we don't have something that we call ours. Now, when it comes to the family dynamic of structure, for me, I think I have it because I still have older people in my family that still certain things. And I don't want to just say food, because again, down to like morals, beliefs, and certain things like that, it's just a little difference in the dynamic of certain things that you just can't get from a museum or certain things like that. It's certain things that's just instilled in you from a deeper dynamic. For me, that's what culture means. And we don't see other races and sharing their culture with us the way that we embrace other people into ours. I don't
sure
think
you do. The Latins shared their cocaine with us. That was their culture.
No, because you introduced it. But hold on.
Yeah, that's their culture.
But see, that's not the meaning that that's what I'm saying. I was referring to. I hear you.
Yeah, you can't differentiate culture. Like, so we're gonna talk all the culture.
Yes, you can, because you're talking about a different type.
The Chinese culture was opium. That was their culture. Okay,
that's their whole culture. That's their whole culture.
No,
so you opened the door.
Yes,
so can you go over there? Hold on. Can you go over there? And then they're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, he can come and do da 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 da."
Opium is actually opium. You go over there. That like how we smoke weed.
I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's their culture.
You're not. Can you hear me out? Can you hear me out, please?
See, we got to take the good and the bad with every culture, right?
No, and I understand that, but what I'm saying is, can you go over to like whether it's China, Russia, anywhere like that as the and show up as yourself, and they share with you everything that's sacred to them?
Opium, yes. I don't know about everything else.
Though. No. So you gotta. So
that's what I'm saying. When I'm talking about religious beliefs, certain things that's sacred to them.
You gotta understand they do, because they'll share Buddhism with you.
Can you let me finish so you can give me the right answer?
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying to you is, what can you? I'm dead serious, because you be cutting. No. So when you go to the sacred piece of it. Mm-hmm. If it's something that's sacred to another culture, I'm just speaking for me. I have never seen where somebody said, "Oh yes, we're gonna show you this. And it's welcoming and inviting you, and then it's just accepted, and we just gonna give it to the masses, and you could take it to your own, and then claim it that is yours." I've never seen that happen in no other culture. Towards me. Now, for us in the black culture.
Oh man,
we have nothing sacred. Whereas though anybody can come and pick it up, we really don't have anything that's our own, that's sacred, without someone else trying to take it and claim it for their own, capitalize off of it, and do more. Hold on, let me.
Go ahead.
Oh, I did
with business. Go ahead.
No. But I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying that you are wrong.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
but I'm just saying, I'm speaking from the dynamic that I'm talking about. That's all that I was saying. It's just like, I don't see anything sacred for us, like belief, morals, everything from the definition that I read.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor. Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Taylor. Let's take a break. We're gonna come back. It's break time. It's break. Paul,
Paul, you don't go
Yeah,
nowhere
right.
because we
Yeah,
don't
don't
want
go
you to
nowhere.
disappear no more.
Please don't go nowhere, Paul.
Paul is in the building. We'll be back, y'all, in 5 minutes, I think. Don't go nowhere. We might take a break, depends if we play music or whatever, but we'll be back. Tune in. It ain't
It's
gonna get hot.
amazing.
It hadn't even started to get hot. We hadn't even got the match out yet. So
It's
y'all
always
come back. Take us to